Shalom, brothers and sisters. It's time for our midweek Bible study. So go ahead and grab your Bibles, because if you're not reading along, you're not really learning. Okay? Alright. Tonight we are studying Shemoth, and we're starting on chapter 7 and 8 and then 9. Okay? So go ahead and flip to Exodus, which Shemoth Shemoth is Hebrew for Exodus. Okay? So go ahead and flip to chapter 7 and we'll get started tonight, alright? Alright. Hope everybody's having a good week. Hope you had a good weekend. Here we go. Chapter 7. So Yahweh said to Moshe, "See, I have made you an Elohim to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother is your prophet. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, to let the children of Israel go out of his land. But I am going to harden the heart of Pharaoh, and shall increase my signs and my wonders in the land of Mizraim. And Pharaoh is not going to listen to you, and I shall lay my hand on Mizraim, and bring my decisions and my people, my divisions and my people, the children of Israel, out of the land of Mizraim by great judgments. And the Mizraites shall know that I am Yahweh, when I stretch out my hand on Mizraim, and I shall bring the children of Israel out from among them." And Moshe and Aaron did as Yahweh commanded them, so they did. Now Moshe was 80 years old, and Aaron 83 years old, when they spoke to Pharaoh. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, "When Pharaoh speaks to you, saying, 'Show a miracle for yourselves,' then you shall say to Aaron, 'Take your rod and throw it before Pharaoh, and let it become a serpent.'" So Moshe and Aaron went in to Pharaoh, and they did so, as Yahweh commanded. And Aaron threw his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servants, and it became a serpent. But Pharaoh also called the wise men and the practicers of witchcraft, and they, the magicians of Mizraim, also did so with their magic. And they, each one, threw down his rod, and they became serpents, but the rod of Aaron swallowed up their rods. And Pharaoh's heart was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said to Moshe, "The heart of Pharaoh is hard. He refused to let the people go. Go to Pharaoh in the morning, as he goes out to the water, and you shall stand by the river's bank to meet him. And take in your hand the rod which was turned into a serpent. And you shall say to him, 'Yahweh, the Elohim of the Hebrews, has sent me to you, saying, Let my people go, so that they may serve me in the wilderness. But see, until now you have not listened. Thus said Yahweh, by this you know that I am Yahweh. See, I am striking the waters which are in the river with the rod that is in my hand, and they shall be turned to blood. And the fish in the river shall die, and the river shall stink, and the Mizraites shall find it impossible to drink the water of the river.' And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, 'Say to Aaron, Take your rod and stretch out your hand over the waters of Mizraim, over their streams, over their rivers, over their ponds, and over all their pools of water, that they become blood. And there shall be blood in all the land of Mizraim, both in wood and in stone containers.' And Moshe and Aaron did so, as Yahweh commanded. And he lifted up the rod and struck the waters that were in the river in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of his servants. And all the waters that were in the river were turned to blood. And the fish that were in the river died, and the river stank. And the Mizraites were unable to drink the water of the river, and the blood was in all the land of Mizraim. And the magicians of Mitzrayim did the same with their magic. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said. And Pharaoh turned and went into his house, and his heart was not moved by this either. And all the Mitzrayites dug all around the river for water to drink, for they were unable to drink the water of the river. And 7 days were completed after Yahweh had struck the river. Chapter 8. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, Go to Pharaoh and say to him, Thus said Yahweh, Let my people go, so that they may serve me. But if you refuse to let them go, see, I am smiting all your borders with frogs. And the river shall swarm with frogs, which shall go up and shall come into your house, and into your bedroom, and on your bed, and into the houses of your servants, and on your people, and onto your ovens, and into your kneading bowls. Ugh. And the frog shall come up on you, and on your people, and on all your servants. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Say to Aaron, Stretch out your hand with your rod over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up on the land of Mitzrayim. So Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Mitzrayim, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Mitzrayim. And the magicians did so with their magic, and brought up frogs on the land of Mitzrayim. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aaron, and said, Pray to Yahweh to take away the frogs from me, from my people, and I shall let the people go to slaughter to Yahweh. And Moshe said to Pharaoh, Explain yourself to me. When am I to pray for you, and for your servants, and for your people, to destroy the frogs from you and your houses, and remain only in the river? So he said, Tomorrow. And he said, Let it be according to your word, so that you know that there is no one like Yahweh our Elohim. And the frogs shall turn aside from you, and from your houses, and from your servants, and from your people. They shall remain in the river only. And Moshe and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moshe cried out to Yahweh concerning the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. And Yahweh did according to the word of Moshe, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the courtyards, and out of the fields. And they gathered them together in heaps, and the land stank. Can you imagine? And when Pharaoh saw that there was a relief, he hardened his heart and did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Say to Aaron, Stretch out your rod and strike the dust of the land, so that it becomes gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. And they did so. And Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and struck the dust of the earth, and it became gnats on man and beast. All the dust of the land became gnats in all the land of Mitzrayim. Can you imagine all the gnats all over the place? Oh man. And the magicians did similarly with their magic to bring forth gnats, but they were unable, and there were gnats on man and beast, so the magicians couldn't do that same thing. They found their limits. Verse 19. The magicians then said to Pharaoh, This is the finger of Elohim, you think? But the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh as he comes out to the water, and say to him, Thus said Yahweh, Let my people go, so that they may serve me. Or else, if you do not let my people go, see, I am sending swarms of flies on you and your servants, and on your people, and into your houses, and the houses of the Mitzrites shall be filled with swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. So just imagine, with all the stinky fish and all the stinky frogs and all the gnats already, now flies on everything and maggots. Ugh. Yuck. Verse 22, and in that day I shall separate the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell, that no swarm of flies shall be there, so that you know that I am Yahweh in the midst of the land. Okay, now remember, the children of Israel live in Goshen. That's the land that Joseph got Pharaoh to give them. So they're not really in the cities of Mitzrayim. They're out in the country. Proper anybody? Anyway, all of this is not going to affect them. It's only going to affect the Mitzrayites in the cities. Wow, okay. Verse 23, and I shall put a ransom between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall be. And Yahweh did so. A thick swarm of flies came into the house of Pharaoh, and into his servants' houses, and into all the land of Mitzrayim. And the land was ruined because of the swarm of flies. Pharaoh then called for Moshe and Aaron and said, Go, slaughter to your Elohim in the land. And Moshe said, It is not right to do so, for we would be slaughtering the abomination of the Mitzrayites to Yahweh our Elohim. See, if we slaughter the abomination of the Mitzrayites before their eyes, would they not stone us? So Moshe is saying, we're going to be killing a cow. You want us to kill a cow in front of a bunch of people that worship cattle? You think that's a really good idea, Pharaoh? Verse 27. Let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness. Then we shall slaughter to Yahweh our Elohim as he commands us. And Pharaoh said, I am letting you go. Then you shall slaughter to Yahweh your Elohim in the wilderness. Only, do not go very far away. Pray for me. And Moshe said, See, when I leave you, I shall pray to Yahweh, and tomorrow the swarms of flies shall depart from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. But do not let Pharaoh again deceive, not to let the people go to slaughter to Yahweh. And Moshe went out from Pharaoh and prayed to Yahweh. And Yahweh did according to the words of Moshe, and removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained. But Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time too, and did not let the people go. Chapter 9. And Yahweh said to Moshe, Go into Pharaoh, and speak to him. Thus said Yahweh, Elohim of the Hebrews, Let my people go, so that they serve me. For if you refuse to let them go, and are still holding them, see, the hand of Yahweh is on your livestock in the field, on your horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the cattle, and on the sheep, a very grievous pestilence. And Yahweh shall separate between the livestock of Yisrael and the livestock of Mitzrayim, and let no matter die of all that belongs to the children of Israel. So he's telling them, if you don't do what we're asking you, then Yahweh is going to put a curse on your animals, all your livestock, and they're all going to die. But the children of Israel are going to be fine. Their livestock are going to be just fine, but all yours are going to die. Verse 5, And Yahweh set an appointed time, saying, Tomorrow Yahweh is going to do this word in the land. And Yahweh did this word on the next day, and all the livestock of Mitzrayim died. But of the livestock of the children of Israel, not one died. Then Pharaoh sent, and see, not even one of the livestock of Israel was dead. But the heart of Pharaoh was hardened, and he did not let the people go. And Yahweh said to Moshe and Aaron, fill your hands with ashes from the furnace, and let Moshe scatter it towards the heavens before the eyes of Pharaoh. And it shall become fine dust in all the land of Mitzrayim, and it shall cause boils that break out in sores on man and beast in all the land of Mitzrayim. Ooh, big boils all over everybody. So they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moshe scattered them toward the heavens, and they caused boils, breaking out in sores on man and beast. There must not have been many livestock left by now, but I bet everybody in town was pretty pus, dripping, sores, eesh. Verse 11, and the magicians were unable to stand before Moshe because of the boils. For the boils were on the magicians and on all the Mitzrayites. So even the magicians couldn't show up to Pharaoh's court because they had boils all over them. So they couldn't even show up. Verse 12, but Yahweh strengthened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had said to Moshe. And Yahweh said to Moshe, rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh and say to him, thus said Yahweh, Elohim of the Hebrews, let my people go, so that they serve me. For all this time I am sending my plagues unto your heart, and on your servants, and on your people, so that you know that there is no one like me in all the earth. Now, if I had stretched out my hand and struck you and your people with pestilence, then you would have been cut off from the earth. He would have destroyed all of the Mitzrayites if he'd have set a plague on them. He'd have killed them all. Verse 16, and for this reason I have raised you up, in order to show you my power, and in order to declare my name in all the earth. You still exalt yourself against my people, in that you do not let them go. See, tomorrow about this time I'm causing a very heavy hail to rain down, such as not been in Mitzrayim from the day of its founding until now. And now bring your livestock to safety, and all that you have in the field, for the hail shall come down on every man and every beast which is found in the field, and is not brought home. They shall die. He's talking to Aaron and Moses about bringing in their livestock, because this is going to hit everything. Verse 20. Those among the servants of Pharaoh who feared the word of Yahweh made their servants and livestock flee to the houses. So they brought them all inside. All the ones that believed in Elohim, they were like, oh. So they brought all their livestock inside their houses. I bet that was stinky. Verse 21, but those who did not set their hearts on the word of Yahweh left their servants and their livestock in the field. Then Yahweh said to Moshe, stretch out your hand towards the heavens, and let there be hail in all the land of Mitzrayim, on man, and on beast, and on every plant of the field throughout the land of Mitzrayim. Then Moshe stretched out his rod toward the heavens, and Yahweh sent thunder and hail, and fire came down to the earth, and Yahweh rained hail on the land of Mitzrayim. Thus there came to be hail, and fire flashing continually in the midst of the hail, very heavy, such as not been in all the land of Mitzrayim since it became a nation. And the hail struck, and let's try that again, 25. And the hail struck in all the land of Mitzrayim, all that was in the field, both man and beast. And the hail struck every plant of the field and broke every tree of the field. Only in the land of Goshen, back in the land where the children of Israel are, where the children of Israel were, there was no hail. Pharaoh then sent and called for Moshe and for Aaron, and said to them, I have sinned this time. Yahweh is righteous, and my people and I are wrong. pray to Yahweh, for there has been enough of the thunder and hail of Elohim, and I am letting you go, so that you stay no longer. And Moshe said to him, as soon as I go out of the city, let me spread out my hand to Yahweh. Let the thunder cease, and the hail be no more, so that you know that the earth belongs to Yahweh. But as for you and your servants, I know that you do not yet fear before Yahweh Elohim. And the flax and the barley were struck, for the barley was in the head, and the flax was in the bud. So the barley was getting ready to be harvested, and the flax was just starting to bud when the hail came. Woo, I bet that's going to cause a famine. But the wheat and the spelt were not struck, for they were late crops. So the wheat and the spelt hadn't quite sprouted yet, so they were okay. And Moshe went out of the city from Pharaoh and spread out his hands to Yahweh, and the thunder and the hail ceased, and the rain was not poured out on the earth. And Pharaoh saw that the rain and the hail and the thunder had ceased, yet he sinned again, and he hardened his heart, he and his servants. And the heart of Pharaoh was strengthened, and he did not let the children of Israel go, as Yahweh had said through Moshe. And that ends chapter 9. Okay? There's some serious plagues going on there, gang. Pretty bad stuff. And Moshe just keeps bringing them and bringing them. Well, Yahweh keeps bringing Moshe and Aaron up there to bring it on. And Pharaoh just can't quite comprehend. He just can't quite get it, but Yahweh's hardening his heart, making him stubborn and stiff-necked. So he's proven his point. Yahweh is putting it down on Pharaoh, and he wants Pharaoh to know that his magicians ain't capable of doing what Yahweh can do. Interesting stuff, huh? Hope y'all are liking this study. If you're new to the channel or you just found this video, do yourself a favor. This is not about anything but your learning, okay? Excuse me. Go back to Genesis 1:1 and start at the beginning of the book. Don't just pick up here, because if you pick up here, as we get further in, there's going to be genealogies and names that are mentioned, and you're really not going to know who they are. And I'm not going to skip over them. I'll mention them, but if you're not familiar with what happened in the beginning of the book, you're not going to know what happens in the middle of the book or towards the end. So we read it like any other book. Just do yourself a favor, go back to Genesis 1:1 and start there. We'll be right here waiting for you to catch up to us. Okay? All right. Thanks for joining me tonight. Midweek Bible study. Another good one. All right, gang. Y'all have a good rest of your week, and we will see you on Shabbat. Shalom.